Everything that they talk about is about money, 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 but they release no resources into the communities. We can't breathe when we have poor people who are put outside of their homes, who don't have resources, who don't have access to health care or anything like that. I can't breathe because of that. I can't breathe when they're using my taxpaying dollars to fund the war that I don't agree with. We got the Miss Jill Stein here that's got a policy, that's got a program, that's got actual things that she's going to be able to implement as president.
Chat, the thing is that, guys, on paper, taxpayer dollars mostly go to fund war and anti-war or like protection in a lot of countries, most countries out there, right? I mean, this is the United States have stuff based and it holds a lot of places, a lot of shit together, does it not? Why should I say no? Wait, have I been gaslit and brainwashed by the system? The fuck?
My name is Jill Stein. I am the Green Party candidate for president, and I'm here to lift up the voices of the people. This is the real convention. It's not just Donald Trump, who is a threat to our democracy, who is a fascist threat. It is the Democratic Party as well. Trump interferes typically after the election, and Democrats typically interfere in advance of the election. Some people say that, oh, but the Democrats are the solution to fascism. They're actually not. They are the cause. And let me tell you how that is.
True.
Because you had Bill Clinton implementing NAFTA, which sent lots of jobs overseas. You had Barack Obama, who was passing the Wall Street bailouts.
Wait, hold on. Chat, is it NAFTA? Chat, is that the Elena in French? Isn't that mostly a trade exchange of North America and America's exchange change? So how's that getting jobs overseas?
Jobs overseas. You had Barack Obama, who was passing the Wall Street bailouts, which bailed out Wall Street to the tune of trillions of dollars, while ordinary homeowners got thrown out of their homes. The long and short of it is that about 30 million people have lost their jobs over the last 30 years. Lots of it due to Democratic policies.
We must be stronger, more determined, and more committed to saving America.
Is Mexico overseas?
That is what drives the surge to the right when people are insecure.
Yeah, but is that overseas though? Did they call it overseas? No. So what the fuck is this that you're talking about? It's over river. It sends jobs over border. What about it? The fuck?
And then they're goaded into demonizing others, and it becomes a game of divide and conquer.
Here in America, we only have Americans. We don't need to be a country dominated by foreign illegal immigrants.
Sorry, I don't want you here.
And you're demonizing immigrants, which is a lot of, what the right wing typically does.
I remember
Democrats
that
are
piggy
driving
guy.
those policies. Furthermore, it's the Democrats who
Big
are funding
guy,
the
yeah.
most extreme Republicans.
We will make America great again.
Oh,
This may sound kind of crazy. It actually is very crazy. You may have heard of the Pied Piper strategy, which was how Donald Trump was lifted up by the Hillary Clinton press contacts, who lifted up Trump thinking that he would be the easiest Republican to beat because he was the most extreme. But actually he wasn't. But meanwhile, they put a lot of money into him. In 2022, they're still using that game plan, and they spent in 2022 in the midterms $50 million funding the most extremist Republican candidates for Senate and Congress.
What at first glance looks like a typical campaign message for a Republican primary candidate is actually an ad paid for by Democrats.
Democrat serve is responsible for the content of this ad.
It's part of a national strategy. Official Democratic campaign arms and outside groups are pumping millions of dollars into Republican contests in at least 7 states, betting that Trump-faithful, election-denying candidates will be less competitive in November.
So they help launch the careers of very extreme Republicans because they'll be easier to beat in the general, but in the meantime, they launch the political...
Sometimes, chat, and a lot of times, when the public is too stupid, you can say something that is a common thing that happens, and you go, this is what people do, rah, and people go, oh, right? But it's something that both sides do. Is this one of those things or not?
Careers of real extremists. So, in my view, it's a pox on both of their houses. Neither of them are going to fix this for us. They're both working for Wall Street and the war machine, and they are both a threat to our democracy. So I reject the notion of lesser evilism. And besides, How could you say that the Democrats are the lesser evil when they are conducting the genocide right now? They are slaughtering 200,000 women and children in particular, and elders in Gaza right now. With Trump, it's a hypothetical. With Biden-Harris, it's not hypothetical. It's actually happening now.
Uh-oh, the ghetto bird's out. You know what that means. Channel 5, election season 2024, Democratic National Convention.
The what now?
As you can see, this brick building right here is not an ordinary brick building. This is the other side of the United Center. The Chicago Bulls play there sometimes, but tonight, a different game is being played in there, and that's the game of two-party electoral politics. Now, my main man, Eighth Card Saddam, is at a nearby park with the Palestinians and Palestinian supporters, speaking to them.
We feel betrayed by the Democratic machine. A lot of the Muslim Palestinian community voted Democrat.
We send the $3.5 billion of weapons, 2,500 pounds of dumb bombs.
Workers of the world unite. We have nothing to lose but our chains, a world to win. Join the Revolutionary Communist International wherever you are. And watch Channel 5.
I'm about to go about 2.5 miles away from the Democratic National Convention to a park called Humboldt Park to visit an organization called the Poor People's Army.
I'll keep it in mind.
Have you ever heard of the Poor People's Army? But apparently they're poor, they have an army, and they're meeting in Humboldt Park. So we're going to go tap in and see what's going on.
That's kind of a jammer, though.
We are here to live amongst one another because it's our calling here on earth. We're all placed here. Nobody was forced here. We were all put here. So what we're going to do is we're going to live together. We're going to ask for the war to stop in Palestine. The violence that's plaguing the streets right now is contaminating our whole nation. We want to see a ceasefire here in Chicago.
Yes. I can breathe with Jill Stein. Say, I can breathe. I can breathe. I can breathe with those policies. I can breathe. I can breathe.
My name is Sherry Honkala, and we're here in Humboldt Park. Our slogan really is, we're not left, we're not right, we're from the bottom, and we're coming for the top. Instead of having our military fly someplace and kill people, we could have our military build luxury housing overnight.
Right. How do you think like the Democratic establishment benefits from having an underclass of poor people?
They're really invested in building what we call the nonprofit industrial complex. There's a lot of money and never solving issues. The shelter system is a money-making business. A lot of them are privately owned.
Private for-profit shelters. These shelters aren't providing any wraparound services at all. They're just providing what are oftentimes substandard, unsafe housing for individuals.
Look, I don't mind making money. I love making money, okay? But I hate for the government wasting money. And right now, it's a waste of money.
Fair runs 4 houses in St. John's. His revenue has quadrupled in the last 5 years.
People have to actually spend money in order to stay there.
Uneven.
They can't hold on to their belongings.
One side was
they employ
way longer
a
this
gajillion
side.
other social workers to justify why they psychologically don't need housing, keep them on waiting list. When the reality is they just need access to affordable housing. Poor whites are hurting just like blacks and Mexicans and Puerto Ricans and our indigenous brothers and sisters. It's just a question of lack of access to education and real information about who's in charge.
Is there any particular candidate or political figurehead that stands out to you as somebody that would be a good option for this new party?
Well, I mean, I love Claudia de la Cruz. I love Cornel West. But I think that the candidate that's actually on the majority of the ballots across this country and has the actual infrastructure and the ability to potentially win would be Dr. Jill Stein.
Right.
Who the
For those who don't know, what is the war machine?
Okay, so very simply put, we are now spending about half of our congressional budget, $1 trillion a year, on endless wars. Endless wars and 800 military bases around the world. We are spending more than the next 10 nations combined, the next 10 biggest spenders. We're spending more, mostly on weapons. So it's about half of this humongous budget that's actually going to the war profiteers, the war contractors. They're making huge profits on this. It is an industry.
Chad, what happens if they all pull out?
which has bought its way into Congress, and it provides a lot of campaign contributions. It provides lobbyists who are defining policy.
I feel like that's World War III, 4, and 5 odds
that provide jobs in a whole lot of different districts, and that's also how they buy the support of our politicians, such as they are. AIPAC is also part of this. So AIPAC is also pouring money into races, buying politicians to basically gin up endless conflict, which is great if you're a war contractor, and they're the ones, you know, who are buying these policies.
20 recipients in Congress, the House and the Senate, of AIPAC money in the 2022 midterm cycle, according to Open Secrets.
But for the American people
What's the
and
AIPAC,
the people of the world, this is an utter disaster, and they're embroiling us in endless wars that are not making us safer. They're actually making us less safe, not more safe, creating failed states like Libya and Iraq, just wreaking havoc on the world. We need a foreign policy based on international law, human rights, and diplomacy. Right now, it's mostly based on raw military power.
On a national domestic level, do you think that the media division machine is doing a similar thing with Americans themselves?
Absolutely. The media machine is really critical here. In fact, that's why the First Amendment is the first, because we need a free press, we need freedom of speech, we need the right to protest so that we, the people, can be informed. The role of the press is really critical. We're supposed to have a press serving as a watchdog to power. Right now, most of the corporate press are lapdogs to power. They are not watchdogs to power. So they're interested in landing the next interview with some, you know, with some big important elected official. More interested in that. So they're not going to give a tough interview. They're not really, you know, scrutinizing policies and informing people. If we're going to have a democracy, we have to have informed voters who can make decisions. And right now, we are kept in the dark.
What's up, guys? Hope you're having a great week. What if I told you I could give you one?
Yeah, and that's why you watch Channel 5 News, dude.
Because I understand what she's saying, chat.
That's why you watch Channel 5 News.
Guys, it's just not that simple, chat. Guys, some of the geopolitics and shit, it's just so complicated.
Been an absolute soldier in this
there's
process.
a lot.
No,
what do you think's the number
he
one
keeps
issue
saying that
facing America right
geopolitics
now?
is very complicated.
I mean, there are like a lot of
geopolitics is
poor problems
very
in like
simple.
Philadelphia, like homelessness. And
if
drug
you're gonna be
problems, too.
aggressive to another guy,
It's like,
you do things
do
that
have to solve
other
that.
countries don't
Grants
like,
pass, being passed.
then they're not gonna be nice to you.
Supreme
You
Court
can
case
see it
that
as
got passed
people,
like 3 months
people
ago
interacting.
that allowed
Right?
municipalities
That's what
across the
countries are.
country
People
to
interacting.
literally
If you
criminalize
do dumb
homelessness starting in
shit,
Grants Pass, Oregon.
Case all started in Grants Pass,
the world
Oregon.
is a
That city had passed
society,
law that said
and
people
all the
who camp
countries
on
are the
city
people in
streets
it.
could
If
be
you do
subject
dumb
to
shit
citations,
that
fines,
nobody
and ultimately
likes,
removal
then they're
from
gonna
those
scrutinize
public
you
spaces.
and
Chat,
kick you out of the
I'm on
society,
chat.
right?
I'm on the chat. Guys, realistically, chat. Can America and other big
That's
countries,
geopolitics. That's all you need to know
all the
about
bases
it.
out, all the forces out of all the other countries, and say, guys, nobody shoot. Everybody stand.
All the consequences
everybody chill.
of geopolitics
We're chill now. Peace in the world.
is just
peace and
the
love.
logical
And then
consequences
reinvest all those
of
funds
having a
into,
society with
fixing
people in
America
it.
or whatever. Right? Is that a thing? Is that a plausible thing?
It's not complicated at all.
Okay. No. So most people say no. Okay. Then you don't agree with what she's saying. It just sounds good, but that's utopian.
People who are homeless there sued, saying that the law amounted to cruel and unusual punishment, a violation of the 8th Amendment, because it would criminalize sleeping, a basic
Then in the
human
summary,
need.
you don't agree with it then?
Specifically, it's been Democratic governors like Kathy Hochul and Gavin Newsom, specifically in California, who have jumped on that law. Here in Illinois, in Rosemont, which is at O'Hare, they just criminalized it, with the exception for being outside like Nike stores and stuff.
The Democratic Party has kind of like shifted into a very like concessionary position, even though it's supposed to be like the left party. And like I also think like a big part of that is obviously tied to like the Democratic Party's funding of the genocide in Palestine, especially with like the party kind of forming a rift between like the more like center-left part of the party, I guess, and the far-left part of the party, or at least them trying to. They've kind of just made the whole party move into this position where on a lot they're just not that different from the Republicans. The thing is that on a lot of home front issues, like Democrats and Republicans still work against each other, obviously, but like when it comes to more corporate-tied issues like baseline poverty and homelessness, they just have a lot of the same goals because a lot of them are just corporate.
So I just think they're like weaponizing things that really hurt people on a daily basis. Because rich people can go and get abortions. Like across history, rich women have always been able to get abortions regardless of what the law is. So for me, I'm like, I just feel like they're using things to make people want to vote for them. And so for me, I would say it's the lesser of two evil thing. It's been going on for 8 years. Like, this is not democracy.
We need to be honest with ourselves about the kind of country we live in. Let's be honest. I mean, the Democrats got away with taking away the safety net. And let's be real, too. When they passed the New Deal, they weren't thinking about the people. They're thinking about the entities, the corporate entities that would benefit from the subsidies. Let's be honest with ourselves, too. It wasn't about
did they put cocaine or cigarettes in her burger?
Farmers that were starting to develop at that era and figuring
how old
out
is she?
how do we subsidize
I think she's like 20 maybe.
Look
Look at her face.
Okay to work 3 jobs,
She looks
not see your
80,
kids,
man.
Not see your loved ones, not take a vacation, and God forbid you
1
get sick.
HP.
Okay, and I still got a job at home because I'm a mother. Because let's not forget, I don't get a day off. And I gotta figure all that out. How are we gonna eat? How are we gonna pay rent? How are we gonna pay the utility bills? That every single thing went up after COVID. Not one thing stayed the same except salaries. The only thing that stayed the same in this country is the minimum wage.
500.
Even though everything else went up.
I mean, it makes sense because if you're gonna have people inside, then it's gonna work as hard. I remember during COVID when I was in school.
What is really going on in this world?
I didn't do shit.
What is really going on?
I cheated on every single exam, online exam. I didn't do shit.
People against each other, so they're too distracted to
Extend that to the workspace. You stay inside all day. You're not working nearly as hard as you were before COVID. So of course
you're gonna arrest me now that I make a tent city. So I take the scraps from the trash and make some kind of shelter for me and my children. Regardless whether I have mental health issues, regardless whether I'm an addict.
That's why the wages were retarded, because they couldn't afford to pay, to pay that much.
What conscience are you criminalizing poverty?
Because you weren't doing the job that time. So after COVID, when you were working harder again,
people in Gaza are fed up.
your wage was already retarded for 2 years.
Because the government that they belong to said you're not our country, so we're not going to give you federal dollars to fix your grid.
Energy provider Luma said roughly 560,000 people, more than a third of customers, were without power across Puerto Rico by the end of the day.
Guys,
the
I clicked the link on
is still being repaired 7 years after it was wiped out by Hurricane Maria.
Guys, I blame a chatter. Guys, go up and go find them. Go find them.
County, Florida, okay? But
go
do you
find
think
them.
that the poor and rural communities have transportation? They don't. There is absolutely not even a sidewalk to walk on, because I am giving the message of stay poor, stay hidden, and die silently. Okay? If I get a job, how do I get to that job? If I even get it when I'm in a rural community. Okay? Let's not leave those folks behind. There are hundreds of thousands of people living in trailers across the United States who are paying $1,600 a month in rent for a trailer. A trailer. Have you ever been inside a trailer?
Yeah.
A used trailer. Do you know how that smells?
Definitely.
Okay? $1,600. Can you afford $1,600 to be living in a trailer? How many jobs do you need to have? Because I personally have 2. I have seasonal jobs and I have other jobs, part-time jobs that I do. I have a girlfriend who works 3 jobs to live in a trailer.
What do you want to be when you grow up?
What I want to be when I grow up?
Yeah.
So where are these rents?
Something makes me get money.
It's not
trying to get money. Like, money's hard.
You're in the poor people's army.
Oh, no.
Trying to be in the bag chasers army.
Yeah.
Chat, the more things go this way, the more I can't put even more emphasis on the fact that
this kid is a hustler.
Guys, staying at moms and pops is perfectly fine. Okay?
Sucks that he's
I'm
gonna grow up being a thug,
that
though.
force themselves to move out just for the fact of, oh, I want to be moved out, I want to be by myself. That's some lemo shit. Okay, that's a luxury, brother. Like, set moms and pops and create a strong foundation, a very strong one, even more, a foundation and a cushion, both, right? So that whenever you do leave, right, you have some wiggle room.
I'm that guy.
The point isn't to leave home as soon as possible. The point is to be happy and be comfortable, okay? And that's what you have at home. So make sure you bridge good to good. You don't have to fucking go to the doom mode.
Yes.
You don't.
I'll go to the store.
You go to the store.
Yeah. I will always say this:
you're gonna miss mom and pops.
Want to stay with your family,
I miss
stay
mom
with
and
your
pops.
family. Don't be a lazy cunt.
Yeah, on
like
my nerves
me.
sometimes, right?
and just
But, hey, it is what it
leech
is.
all of
To
your
get
family.
what? You have $1 million. You gonna go to the store?
Stay with your family if
I
that's
want to get that Puerto
what
Rican restaurant food.
What are you about to
brings
get?
you the most. If there's no
Some
reason for you
pastelillos,
to move out,
empanadas.
except I have the
Anything.
money, I have enough money to do
hungry.
so. Why would you ever
Give a
move
message
out?
to the kids out there.
There's no
Work
reason
hard
to.
and
Don't do drugs then.
don't be depressed.
What about cigarettes?
Don't
Just
smoke.
don't.
See? Told you.
About drugs?
Don't do drugs,
Hey,
cause
what about
I know
school?
people do drugs, and they look weird. I went to
And
Philly
don't
for a little
gamble.
bit, and people do drugs there a lot.
X,
Yeah, this
don't
lady
gamble.
was just dancing and screaming. She was skinny and her whole face was whole dry.
Probably off that Trank. You ever heard of Trank before?
Nope. My name is Anthony Mejia Colon. Anthony Gabriel Mejia Colon. I'm Puerto Rican and Mexican, and I'm part of the poor people.
This guy,
Authority.
man.
I want to be treated like an adult. 13 or 12 is like an adult, basically. I'm about to have a talk with my mom about that. What is your favorite sport? Football. So what is your favorite snack? Takis. You too young to do Takis, sir, because your stomach. Hello, sir. How you doing?
Doing well, sir.
My name is Anthony Mejia Colon.
This
What's
guy,
your name, sir?
dude.
My name is Captain Join. I'm one of the High Times Freedom Fighters at a Lifetime Yippee. I'll be one of the speakers today.
What are you going to say in the speaking?
You know, I never know till I get up there, but it'll be a surprise for all of us.
All right. How was the riots in the 60s?
The 1968 riots have been very well documented, and they were horrible. Chicago was full of the delegates and full of the protesters, and the protesters had no place to stay. They're trying to sleep in Lincoln Park. At dusk, the cops went into Lincoln Park, and the footage is in Chicago 8, and they just wailed anybody that was standing. Just started clubbing the whole crowd down. It was dubbed a police riot for a reason, because we're a pretty peaceful crew. The cops, sometimes not so much. But they're saying if we follow the rules this time, they won't arrest us. So we're down with that. We'll see what happens.
My name is Chris the Anarchist Ryan. I am here from Columbus, Ohio, representing the Columbus, Ohio chapter of the Youth International Party.
No jokes today, I guess. No
Yippies.
jokes today. No more.
Yippies. Y-I-P-P-I-E-S.
Yippee, sir?
Yippie. I'm a yippie, yeah.
Oh, you're a yippee, sir?
Yeah, I'm a yippie.
May I ask how old you are?
I'm 66 years old. I've been a member of the Youth International Party for 50 years. I'm the founder of the Ohio Hemp Fest at Ohio State University, or I should say the Ohio State University. Abby Hoffman was my mentor. I am also a national co-founder of critical mass bicycle protests in both Columbus, Ohio, and here in Chicago, Illinois, where I used to work as a bike messenger and racing sailor in the late 90s. Follow your dream.
You heard him. Follow your dreams. Never give up your dreams, guys.
You're a young reporter. You're obviously interested in doing journalism and moving into media arts. That's kind of a dream for you, an aspiration, something you want to see happen in your life.
And you're not
follow it. You're not doing. Yeah, exactly. Do what you're doing. Keep it up, because what you're doing is actually really very, very important.
You're right, sir.
And so yeah, you know, stay close to your dream. Follow your heart.
Follow your heart.
Don't dream it, be it.
Yeah.
Nice to meet you. I'm signing off. Have a nice day. Never give up your dreams.
Gotcha.
You could be whatever you want. You could be gay. You could be anything. Thank you for watching Channel 5. Peace out.
Oh, that was my dream.
Fuck the authority, Channel 5.
He found me out. I was caught. It was my dream to be gay all along.
Alright, guys. Seems like
It's kind of hard to be gay, but man, if you're really getting into it, seeing your dream come true finally, that's something else. That's cinema. It's cinema.